So earlier today, I had the opportunity to watch a video that a contractor that I spoke with back in December posted on their YouTube channel. And I was really impressed by the video. One, because they just posted something on YouTube, and I feel like that's something that most contractors just don't do, period. But two, because the content quality was actually impressive. And so in this video, I want to talk about the power of making brand content. I'm going to jump around from a couple of topics, but I have like 3 core pillars that I really want to make sure I address. So the first thing is getting to know you as a person. The second thing is telling stories. And the third thing is how to use these 2 things so that you can bring more customers and ultimately more dollars into your pocket and into your construction business. That being said, my name is Lev Parsegian. I'm the founder of Cosmosify, a consulting company that helps remodel contractors, design build firms, and custom home builders bring order to their business and ultimately help them make more money. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is what this video was in the first place. Basically, this contractor that I had spoken to back in December of last year had told me that they are looking to not just expand their business, but also bring some more order to the company. Part of that is they want to continue to bring more leads, more eyeballs, just because of the fact that attention is getting more expensive, ads are getting more expensive, and they needed a more reliable way of actually getting customers without necessarily having to rely on referrals. Now, I'm personally a huge proponent of referrals and in construction businesses. I know there's a lot of marketing agencies that where their whole thing is, scale up with cold ads, whether it be Google ads or house ads or Facebook ads in some cases. But personally, I'm not the biggest fan of running ads when you are between the $2 million and $5 million mark in top line revenue. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But the main reason is because you rob your customers of the opportunity to actually get to know who you are. And so this is the first thing that I want to talk about today. When I first spoke with this contractor, I told him that a lot of people know him and know his team because of the fact that they have actually done work for people in the community. And those people would then refer other people who would then bring business to him, right? But there's not an unlimited well of people that this contractor can just turn on because he serves a very specific type of person. And so my recommendation to him was, hey, a good idea is if you've already served a very specific type of person and you know exactly who you want to work with, then what you need to do is start hanging out in the same places that your ideal client actually hangs out. Right. And so there's a couple of ways of doing this, which I'm not going to go super deep into. But one of the ways that I had mentioned, and I've mentioned this before on the channel, is basically hosting a PLP, which is a project launch party. Right. And I this isn't like a novel idea, or maybe it is, but I thought of this idea because in most cases, especially people who are remodeling homes or building new homes, they're not making their whole entire decision strictly from social media, okay? It certainly weighs in, and that's a part of what I want to discuss today, but you got to get your foot in the door somehow. And one of the best ways of getting your foot in the door is by bringing people to you, by building a home for a specific client and then asking them to actually bring people, bring friends, bring family into that property. You host a party for them. You introduce yourself to the guests. I'm a Mr. Builder, and ultimately, it's a great way of getting referrals. But the whole purpose of why I'm even bringing this up is because people just need to get to know you. Okay? They get to get to know the human version of you. Like if you get in front of somebody at the very beginning stages when they're, in the planning phase perhaps, or in they kind of have some design ideas in mind. Sure, you can definitely win the project. But my whole thing is, how do you get in front of somebody way before they even have that thought to do something with their home? The reason why I love what this contractor did is he opened himself up by making a video celebrating 20 years at his construction business. And he really opened the curtain and gave a behind the scenes look of, well, who the heck he is in the first place, right? You saw emotion, you saw authenticity, you saw, charisma in some ways as well. And I think that so many contractors are so, I guess they just get bogged down, or they get caught up in their heads because they're like, oh, I need the video to look a specific way. It can't, I don't want to be awkward in it. But it's like, dude, truthfully, you just need to get people to know you and get to know you deeper. Okay, so it's get more people to know you and get more people to know you on a deeper level. Okay, and so introducing yourself in this way by sharing the story of how you started your company and why that was meaningful to you and the impact that you've been able to make on so many homeowners' lives, believe it or not, but content like that goes extremely far with high ticket purchasers in the market, if purchaser is the right word, but high ticket consumers, sophisticated buyers. Now, if we're talking about, you being a contractor and you're trying to do like drywall patch jobs left and right, or maybe some fencing jobs, then maybe what I'm saying is not specifically going to apply to you. You can typically get smaller types of jobs without having to build as much trust. But with builders who are really trying to build a legacy business, it is going to be incredibly important, especially in this age of AI where creating advertisements is really the easiest thing in the world. Human connection is the one opportunity that I feel contractors are not taking advantage of. I believe it's because of the fact that they haven't had to get in front of a camera just like this, or maybe one of these microphones with a funky stand just like this. The first pillar of the story is basically, if you want to attract more customers and you want to attract more qualified customers, then you need to get people to know about you. Okay? So that's number one. The second thing, I probably should have written it down. So the second thing is telling stories. Now, you don't have to be an expert storyteller to be in front of a camera, but you do need a compelling enough reason for people to be interested in you as a person. Okay. So if you just say, yeah, I started this construction company pretty much just because of the fact that I want to make money, that's fine. But again, you're probably not going to nurture the attention of the people that you really want to work with by doing that. A better way of doing it is by saying, I remember being 17 and I was traveling in Chicago, and there was a time when I saw a skyscraper go up, and I thought to myself, man, like these guys take big risks every single day. And what goes into that, right? And so that kind of piqued my curiosity into the construction world. And so what happened from there is I decided to, in between the summer of my senior year of high school to my freshman year of college, I was just going to work on a construction site just to kind of get my hands dirty, and see if it's even something that interests me in the first place. One thing led to another. I ended up falling in love with the trades, everything from framing to roofing, and even having to meet with inspectors so that I could pass rough inspections and things like that. The real catalyst came at this point, and it was when I was 24 years old. And at 24, I realized, holy moly, I've been working and I have a good amount of experience in all of this. I could probably make a career for myself, but more importantly, I could probably create some incredible spaces for homeowners that truthfully deserve quality, that deserve craftsmanship at its finest. Okay? And I think a lot of people, a lot of contractors, they talk about all of these things. And I really want to make sure that in the local San Diego area or in the local Kansas City area, I became the contractor who not only builds the home or remodels the home, but creates experiences that those families will be able to remember for decades upon decades. Okay? And so that's why 20 years ago when I started my construction business, I blah, 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 fill in your points. And that's how I got to where I am now. Now, obviously, this isn't a true story, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like you introduce it, you kind of have to bring some points in there that are like, wow, like, okay, so this guy is invested in it. I'm not saying fabricate the story. I'm not saying lie. I'm saying that if you are telling a story, you got to look for the cinematics within your story so that it can connect to your audience on an emotional level, and also just on a visual level. Just make sure that you don't look like crap when you're recording it. And so that is the story piece of it, right? Having people get to know you, giving them a story of how you started your company that they can actually engage with. And then the last thing is converting taking these two things so that you can convert people into actual customers. And so what I want to break down in this specific part of the video is just basically the mechanism on how to do this. And the mechanism that I would recommend, one, to this contractor should he choose to use it, and then also to any contractor that is frankly watching this video. So the mechanism that I like the most is if you put together like an hour story type of video, and it's like a 2 to 4 minute long video, just like on the story of your company. What I love doing with that is taking it, and then you could, one, parse it into shorts and post that onto your social media content, which is onto your social media profiles, which is totally fine. But personally, what I love the most is taking that long form video. And then what I like to do is I like to send it out to a list of all of the past people that, one, have either engaged with me, or two, have worked with me. And the reason I like to do this is because these people already have an idea of who you are. And if you formulate an email that you send to them that isn't just like some generic, like, here's our story video, this is all about us, but rather you put something in that message that has a gift for them should they watch the video, you would be surprised at the level of engagement that you could actually get from those videos to actually turn those into meaningful conversations, which then could turn into sales and more closed deals. The way that I like doing it the most is send it out to your customer base. I'm talking about people who you've worked with in the past, and then also people that maybe you've given bids to, you've given proposals, maybe estimates to, okay? And what I want you to do is reintroduce yourself using this video. You could basically do it like this if you don't have an email newsletter. You could make your subject line say something to the effect of, I want to meet you for the first time. And so in your email copy, you can write something like, hey, Dan and Jill, I know we've probably had a conversation and or I've worked on your home, but I want to make a reintroduction so that you can truly understand who it is that I am and what it is that we do at Lev's Design and Build. The more that I've met locals just like you, I realize more and more how important it is to actually get to know every single person that we talk to. So consider this a reintroduction. I'm Lev, and in this video, I want to just give a recap on my story, how I started this company, and what that means specifically for homeowners just like you. Hope you enjoy it, and you can expect to receive emails just like this on a weekly basis from me, if that's okay with you. If it's not, feel free to unsubscribe. P.S. And in the PS, this is kind of where you can put a call to action. You could say something like, PS, the first 5 people who actually respond to this email, I'm actually giving a $250 Amazon gift card to, simply just for watching the video and responding. I want to get your feedback, and I also want to reward you for it. So thank you for being a part of our community. And just like that, you now have a piece of content that tells the story of who it is that you are, okay? It dives into that story so people have a better understanding of your background and how you got to this point, and the benefit that they have in knowing you and knowing your company, so that when they do have a project, they actually have somebody in mind early on. And then the final thing is the exact mechanism that you can use to actually take this content, so it's not just something that sits stale on YouTube or on a social media platform, but it's actually something that becomes a sales asset that works for you, so you can bring in more opportunities and ultimately close more business. Okay, so this thought was just super fresh in my head. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're a remodel contractor / design build firm owner, and or an established custom home builder as well, I welcome you to check out the link in the bio. You can book a call with myself and or one of my team members, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.